Supervisor. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Could we please establish a quorum?
Chair Crane,
Present.
Vice Chair Wheeler,
Present.
Commissioner Bedard, Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Commissioner Fawcett,
Yeah.
Commissioner G. Here. All is present.
All right, thank you. And now could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think now, do we have any comments from the public on items not on the agenda? No one online?
There is no one currently in attendance.
Okay. All right, with that, if we could turn to our items for consideration. The first item are the minutes of our last meeting. Does anybody have any comments, corrections, questions? No. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no. I'm not gonna approve the minutes. I don't know that the minutes can be changed for my approval, but item number 5, I really, it amazes me. I just want to go on the record. It amazes me that we're a commission and we vote very, very rarely on anything. And we couldn't vote on the item on the representative to this, patio advisory group. So, I'm just saying, I don't need this. I'm just saying, I feel pretty much disenfranchised by it. And that's how I feel. And I know some people don't really care how I feel, but I needed to say that. So I will not vote yes.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, can we call for the vote?
I have a motion to.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Just moving on. Okay, can I hear, okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All right, can we now call for the vote?
Yes. Vice Chair Wheeler,
Yeah.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Chair Crane,
Yes.
Commissioner Fawcett,
Yes.
Commissioner Bedard,
No.
Commissioner G. Yes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the second item, Librarian of the Year application. We want to discuss the submission.
Thank you. Thank you. So I was able to get the library commission letter circulated to everyone, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone was in draft. We do need some enrollment data. In other words, we need to see, and I know that this is available because Rose presents it every month. So I just need to look back in my records historically, and we need to add circulation data. And then I have gotten 2 letters, one from from Lolly and one from the Friends. Lolly's has been reviewed by a subcommittee within Lolly. We have a board meeting next Tuesday, so we can have the board approve this. I also have a letter from the Friends, and Janet was out of the country, and I need Janet to approve this. Elaine wrote this, and so how this works is, and what I would like permission, I'd like to ask the commission for permission to do this. The nomination is submitted online, and you are encouraged that if a number of organizations are going to want to nominate your librarian, your community librarian, that you do it as a combined, nomination. And so both Lolly and the Friends have agreed that that this is something that we, the Library Commission, can do. And what I'd like tonight is two things: any input on the commission letter, Library Commission letter. And then I'd like to ask if we can either have a subcommittee, an ad hoc subcommittee that would last no longer than September 30th, which is the deadline for the nomination, to work on this. And, you know, ideally it would be on a subcommittee of 2 people. I would like to be one of the people who could just, you know, serve as edit, review, input, feedback. I guess the other thing that we need to have a formal approval of is doing this. So first, I'd like to have a motion to approve the Library Commission nominating our community librarian, Rose Liza, for the I Love My Librarian Award. Okay, I make a motion.
Make a motion. Okay,
A second.
okay. Is there any other comments or questions for discussion?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I support this, but I'm looking at the process. Have we reviewed this letter yet, or did this get sent to the commission?
This did get sent to the
It
commission.
did with the update?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was just an agenda update. My apologies.
And it was listed as a draft, you know,
Sure.
it's a draft.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely something, we should do, though. I think, how long do we go back? Does Bryant qualify, is my question. Or is this for the year? Freddie?
I think if you look at the online, unfortunately I'll lose mine. I think the idea is one, maybe there's a possibility of nominating 2 librarians from one city, that did not seem to be how the award was intended. Okay.
All I was asking, if it helps, it helps. If it would help with getting the award, you know, if it would make if it could be done, and if it would help in garnering the award, great. That's all.
I think are you asking to also nominate Bryant?
Yeah,
Okay, then
That doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't
Okay,
work that way.
thanks.
It's you nominate one librarian,
okay.
okay? So, any other discussion?
I guess, from my standpoint, I just want to make sure that I have no objection to this. That's great. I guess it's just a process. Because I know that the Futures Committee has taken action to deliver documentation to the NCLA, for example. And so I guess I just want to make sure, do we need a new subcommittee? I'm absolutely happy for us to do that.
Do we need a what?
A subcommittee? Or could 2 people be given direction to, or approval from the commission to just do it? I don't know what.
That's kind of why I was asking for a subcommittee, so
Yeah.
we got permission to finalize it and submit it.
I guess it makes sense to say that you're officially doing it as a subcommittee of the commission. That makes sense.
thought maybe it made sense to
Yeah.
do it, and it is ad hoc, it's one thing, and
Mhm.
it's over September 30th. So it fits with the new rules for subcommittees.
So we do have a motion and a second. So any other comments or questions about the motion? Okay, hearing none, I guess, can we call for the vote?
Election.
So we have, there's kind of the two-part that Freddie, so is the motion to both, approve that the commission is approving this work, and then who is the subcommittee? Maybe we separate that. So do a motion to do the work, and then the motion, a separate motion to select the individuals that will be working on it.
So I think we have a motion and a second with respect to approving the application.
The nomination.
The nomination
Of Rose
of
for the I
Rose.
Love My Librarian Award.
Okay. Chair Crane,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Fawcett, Commissioner G, yes. Passes unanimously. Second,
Yeah, so can we have a second? Do you want to speak to the second part?
Oh, sure. If there was I think it would be ideal to have a subcommittee of 2 people who could work on this nomination, letter. And then, coordinate with Lolly and with the Friends to finalize their report, so that combine them and submit them, they have to be submitted online. I would like to propose that I be one of the subcommittee members. And I would welcome anyone else who would like to help and work on this. Any takers?
Well, I'll volunteer.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay,
since nobody else.
all right. So, I guess I'll make a motion to form an ad hoc subcommittee to work on the Library Commission nomination of Rose Biza for the I Love My Library Award. And the subcommittee would consist of Freddie Wheeler and Carol Carter. Second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
When, it goes to, you said,
September 30th, which is the
September 30th.
deadline for the, submission of the application.
And I take it, that, the process for this does not include any review by the commission, because after all, you're only talking about, you can't involve the meeting. Unless, because there's not gonna be another commission meeting anytime soon.
maybe we could repeat the question. Sorry.
Yeah, I take it that there will not be a review process by the commission, given the fact that this is only until September 30th. You won't be able to call another meeting before then. So it's just gonna be these 2 individuals working with whoever else, coming up with a completed application and submitting it. Just want to be clear.
Yeah, unfortunately, this first appeared in the August, the SCCLE newsletter. And then I brought it to the August meeting, commission meeting, asking that it be on the agenda for this meeting. So the timing is such that we don't have time to, to meet as a commission to review it. I don't know if, Jamie, is there a way that doesn't violate the Brown Act where it could be sent to you and you could send it to all the commission members who could then submit their comments back to you? You send them to me?
I think the best recommendation, if the commission, I think that's the decision of the commission, is if you feel comfortable with allowing the subcommittee to make that decision, or if the commission does want to review it, we can absolutely schedule a special meeting. That could be the only item that is reviewed if the commission would like to have final approval on what is submitted.
And that's, you know,
No, I just wanted to make sure that, it was explicit that, this is what's gonna happen.
okay. Does anybody want to call a special meeting to review it? Okay. So did we vote on that?
We haven't voted. I might make a friendly amendment that instead of 9:30, it goes, the ad hoc committee lasts through the next commission meeting, so the subcommittee can report out
Oh, good idea.
about what happened.
Perfect, good idea.
All right, so with that, can we call for the vote?
Chair Crane,
Yes.
Vice Chair Wheeler,
Yes.
Commissioner Bedard,
Abstain.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Fawcett, Commissioner G.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Moving on to our next item for consideration, subcommittee discussion. So I asked this to be put on because we are going to go to 5 members. We will have subcommittees, but those, nobody can be on more than one subcommittee. So we can have a total of, I think, 2 subcommittees with that in mind, or we could just have one. So I just wanted to discuss and to hear from commissioners their thoughts with regard to the format of subcommittees going forward, what should be the topics, what should be the subjects. If they can be ad hoc, we can have them start and stop. So I'm just trying to get some feedback. So for example, Rose, and we're going to talk about some help she has requested from the services subcommittee, and that services subcommittee could meet for the purpose, you know, for the entire term or the year to discuss the specific items that she's asked for help with, or we could have subcommittees work on each individual item, just little things like we did the Dropbox, things like that. So does anybody want to share their thoughts?
Well, I think that the subcommittee format has worked very well, and it's too bad to abandon it. But then I think having 5 members is too bad also. We've been doing very well with 7. I think that there are some tasks that the commission is concerned about, things having to do with the library. For example, infrastructure is very concerned about the traffic pattern of what I refer to as the driveway going in. It's really bad. And the threat of losing parking places, we all know that story.
Like having 5 members, it seems like there's always going to be another person out here. Even one person can't even be on the subcommittee, am I right? And so one person can't even be on a subcommittee. You can only have 2 people on it, and you can't be on 2 subcommittees. So there's 5 commissioners and only 2 people on each subcommittee. You're always going to have one odd person. It just seems a bit strange. Maybe short-term subcommittees will be the way, the short projects, then sort of rotate who's on the committee, on the subcommittee. Pass it on.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. The tablets are gonna get passed down from the mountain and we'll comply. But the thing that might help is if the commissions start thinking about doing subcommittees that go beyond the commissions, where you actually have people who might not be on the library commission brought into an ad hoc type situation. So in other words, you may have 1 or 2 people from the commission, but you might build up on that. So I'm not going to panic over this stuff. We just will learn how to deal with the rules. I've got other things to panic about, not this one. No comment.
So I think you bring up a great idea, and we had talked about, cross-pollinating with our other friends, the Friends of the Library, the district and, Lolly and our other groups. And so that could give us sort of the bandwidth that we might need in a small committee to do some of the work. Because I do know it was very helpful when we were interviewing people with respect to Open Plus. I think to have multiple people there listening to what was being said so that everybody could have a perspective and ask questions that somebody else might not think of.
Actually, I do have something to say. I can speak louder, don't worry. I was just thinking that as an agenda item, maybe you can put on there a block of time where the commission could just brainstorm regarding what are the big topics you want to pursue. And that will then determine, the folks who would work on it, et cetera. And these projects won't last forever, right? So therefore, it'll be similar to this, We Love Our Librarian type of project where when it comes to a close, it's time to launch the next project.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Any other comments or thoughts? Any comments from the public or other friends? All right, well, we will come back to this, I'm sure, as we understand our new format. And with that, we'll move on to community partner updates. So first on our agenda is Lolly.
I'll stand in the middle.
We don't have one.
Hi, everyone. So is it working? Great. So Lolly, we have a new poster in the library. It's been updated after many, many years of being all text, and now it's text and photos. It's really looking very nice. So if you have a chance, go into the library and look for the Lolly space. And then we also have a new member to the board. Her name is Suzanne, and I'm blanking on her last name. I forgot to write it down. Ariel? Ambient, thank you. Almost like a drug.
I think so. That's why I remembered it.
Right, thank you. And so she will be joining us this next Tuesday. And Tuesday is our next board meeting. We will be meeting at 4 o'clock. And our number one topic is the patio project. And then we've been working on our strategic plan. So we will be giving everybody another update, looking at another version of it. And we are also placing 2 ads in the town crier to ask for more volunteers who might be interested in joining the Lolly board. And we want to get those ads in by the end of October because we elect our new directors in December. And that's my update for Lolly. Any questions?
We need to get our applications back to us by October.
Great. And all that information will be in the ad.
Yeah,
And
the deadline for the application to join the board.
yes,
Yeah,
here.
you said the ad.
My point of view on this, I mean, well, my point of view is it's privatizing a lot of the work of the commission. And it's taking a lot of the things that the commission should be doing or should have been doing. It's reorganized it into another entity under a 503C and doing what it's doing. So, I'm supportive of the library. I've always been supportive of the library, but what's going on with Lolly scares me. And it scares me because I don't know, and it's no longer really public. That's my feedback.
Thank you for that feedback. And I will disagree with you because it's been in the last 2 to 3 years that we've invited the Friends and the Library Commission to have a representative at every single meeting. And then that's why I'm here to report back to you. And I also disagree because the Library Commission has come to Lolly and asked for funds to pay for things. And we have taken your advice, your research, and gotten them implemented. So I think it's a partnership. And yes, it is a private, not-for-profit organization. And it was set up because of large donations, which the Library Commission cannot handle. So it's a partnership. It's not taking things private.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I just want to say the sign looks really good. I just want to comment on the sign, so it does look really good. I invite you to come look at it, and I want to thank Freddie, who personally painted and sanded and got it done for everyone and coordinated for us. So it looks really nice in that corner of the library, big improvement. Thank you.
And thank you for your help.
It's out of order, but do you want to stay for the NCLA?
Well, since Sally is here and she's the president of the.
Lisa, sorry, okay.
Oh, Lisa, my apologies.
No, you're right, okay. All right, and I'm sorry about that. I saw you there and yes, it's just force of habit.
I haven't been here the last two meetings, which I apologize for. I was out of town each one of them.
Yeah, but I saw you, so I apologize for that. So Friends of the Library update?
I do have a report. Let's see, their quarterly sale was right after the last meeting. That was a very significant sale. We made over $16,000 and there were half as many unsold books at the end as we normally had. We also gained 38 new members through the membership night, members only night on Friday night. Ongoing sales for July and August totaled nearly $11,500, and Amazon revenue totaled over $11,000. So that's a total of over $38,000 for the 2 months. President would like the Commission to be reminded that Friends is still committed to funding the library remodel or renovation or expansion, and would like to know where the Commission stands on this issue. Reminding you also that Friends have pledged, or the Friends Board has pledged up to $1 million towards funding the remodel. Any questions?
One question, I'm sure everyone else knows the answer to this. The funds from library book sales, do those go back into buying books, or they put into the pool for other?
It goes into the Friends pool, much of which goes to satisfy library requests or towards the $1 million that's set aside, the main pool. We have a separate donations pool for the book school program.
Thank you. Any other questions? Just to make sure. No? All right. And I'll pass it back. The NCLA update.
You can stand up and come get
Thank you.
I mean, Cindy put the onus on coming and standing in the middle with the microphone. I feel like I can't let anybody down. Well, Julie and Pierre attended our last NCLA meeting. We'd asked council to comment on what the money can be used for, and Pierre and Julie provided a good first draft. There was much discussion, and we will be meeting October 2nd with the updated draft. I think the goal there is, or the feeling is, the first draft is close enough that we can add a few things to it, and then we can move forward. If I remember correctly, you were to be meeting with Gabe and talking about, so I won't add any more, but my hope is that this meeting to come out with an RFP that council says, yes, this is good, and it's going to start moving forward with that. So I'm reasonably happy with how things are going. I hope everybody else is.
And I think we're going to provide further update in our futures. To follow our agenda. All right, any comments or questions?
When
Yes.
actually Anthony's got an email today.
And so that's what I thought we would update during the futures if you saw it.
The email?
On the RFP.
So we can talk about that.
We will talk.
All right, informational items, moving on, item number 7, the main library patio task force update from our own committee.
Should I stand up? Does it make a few people here who were at the meeting, so please correct me if I get anything wrong. Let's see, we met right after the last commission meeting. Nick representative from Los Altos, planning, department, who kind of ran the meeting. He's been pretty good, put in a lot of research into, he's checked out other libraries in the district with patios, and, he actually opened by, expressing the concerns that's been raised by the public, emphasized that we are going to have to demonstrate why the library needs more programming space versus the patio space at the community center or the history museum, and also preserving and protecting the fountain and the orchard is really important to the public. He then outlined why the front patio at the front, there's a lot of problems with that location. It would require relocation of a number of healthy trees as well as the fountain, various other things that he would require a CEQA analysis, adding to the cost of the timeline. The biggest significant amount of grading to the site, but the biggest objection was the need for a 40-foot variance of the street, put in a wall, which the planning department would not grant. The city doesn't give itself variances. He then gave a tour of the area outside the back door of the library, which he identified, explained why that area could be very suitable. It impacts only one small tree that was probably dead. The square footage is almost the same. Then the CEO of the History Museum mentioned that trees do get replaced all the time, and the fact that all the trees had died off on that location didn't necessarily mean it wouldn't be an issue. It was mentioned elsewhere that redefining the boundaries on the orchard would require a consult with the Historical Commission. Glad to see Jane Packard here. I'm hoping we'll hear more about that kind of thing. Was emphasised the whole thing needed to be a public process. There was an architect present. Next steps were outlined as a survey to define the boundaries of the area identified and spatial relationships, etc. They would consider fencing ideas, and we agreed to reconvene in 6 weeks, which is, I think, 2 weeks from now. Did I miss anything? Questions? Okay.
Lolly picking up Nick's salary? I mean, are we looking into the monies we're spending, the public monies? I'm just asking. I mean, is anybody looking at it from that perspective?
As far as I know, that the council directed the planning department to look at the previous council meeting to look into all of this, right? So
I get that. I'm just asking. It's a question.
Ms. Packard, did you want to add anything? No? Okay. No? Cindy? Anybody else? No? Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question. Is Lolly going to output anything that, a report or anything to share with the public? And if so, when? And will it come through the commission? That's a question, Christine, you might take back to Lolly.
I have a note here actually that Nick committed to sending out a document. I don't seem to have the details on that. Does anybody remember what document that was? Whether that was a follow-up meeting.
I can check into it.
Okay, I
I'll
got
check
it.
with Nick and see what document, if any, will be provided prior to the next meeting, or if it's decided at the next meeting what the next steps would be for releasing that document.
It brings up a good question, is what documents that are going into this planning are actually public? And out there, that's all. That's really the big
I
question.
can check on that.
I know yeah,
I just like to interject, I think, okay, the way this works is that, the plans are submitted when they're available, when they're done, the plans are submitted to the planning commission. They will be submitted to Nick, who has already said he has elevated this to the planning commission. At the planning commission, which is a public meeting, you will be able to see the packet in advance, which has all the submitted drawings. And you will be able to attend the planning commission, which is the public hearing. And so it will be treated like every other project in this city.
construction project, but it's not coming back to the library commission. That's what I'm hearing. Correct?
I don't think it is. I
Okay,
think they-
that's the answer.
I'll talk to Nick and I'll confirm what the process is gonna look like, and then next month at the library commission meeting, which sounds like maybe before the next reconvening of this group, then, or the task force, I'll report back on what it's gonna be.
And so from my perspective, we did as a commission approve this in, how do you use the word, in concept.
Mhm.
And so I would expect that if it's gonna go before the city council, that it would come back to us, the library commission. Because we only approved it in concept. And so consistent with sort of our new powers and duties, I would expect it would just come back to us for a review.
I don't,
And I'll confirm that process.
and, you know, the library commission does have a member on the advisory committee. So, you know, that Christine will be reporting monthly or however many times.
Yeah.
Bi-monthly.
Yes, that's true, our new agenda. Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, next is our district update. Yeah. Read that without my glasses. Did it felt the peer pressure?
All right, good evening, commissioners. Nice to see you, Jennifer Weeks, County Librarian, Santa Clara County Library District. You have my stakeholder report in front of you, and I just wanted to call out a few things. For those of you who have someone in your life who does not currently have a library card, please encourage them to do so. So September is Library Card Month. We have lots of information on our website. You can just go online and get an e-card. You can come into the library and get a card. There are so many free things. You'll see that fun little link in there, a calculator for if I visit this at the library, if I use Flipster for magazines, if I get a Discover and Go pass, how much money am I saving? So we certainly want to encourage everyone to take advantage of the library services. Personally, I've just started using the New York Times cooking app, and I always love the Nat Geo stuff. So please find another resource that you love and share it with someone in your life. Additionally, September 15th kicks off Hispanic Heritage Month. We have events throughout the district, celebrations, craft activities. There will be story times with Paleta, is that Paleta with ice cream? So lots of fun things happening over the next month. Tomorrow is Literacy Day, and I think that certainly libraries are in that business of promoting reading, but really we are about literacy in all of its forms, financial literacy, having just kind of that creative outlet to go find something new. So tomorrow, please celebrate literacy in your life. September 19th is voter registration day, something new as well. You can pre-register to vote. So if you're 16 or 17, they let you put your application in early. So we have lots of information at the library to get ready for that presidential election in 2024. Lastly, as we come to the end of summer, fall is actually one of the most beautiful seasons, and I would encourage you to check out a California State Parks Pass. Again, a free option at the library, the parking pass for the day, and we are one of the top 10 library systems in the state in our circulation of these passes. So we have lots of them out there, and it's a great way for you to get out and enjoy nature. There are also virtual programs that are being tied into this, and on September 26th, you can visit virtually the Big Trees of Calaveras State Park. So that is my report. Always happy to take questions.
All right, good evening, everyone. So, as Jennifer mentioned, it is National Library Card Month. I do have a little fun bookmark for everyone that I'll pass along. Yeah, and you choose your favorite color, whatever you like. And patrons are getting those as a little giveaway to honor this month. And so we'd love to see recommend the library for people who may not have a card, as Jennifer said. We do have our volunteer appreciation party on September 27th. So all of you should have gotten an email invitation. I did see some RSVPs already. So we're happy that some of you will be attending. And if you haven't gotten the invitation, please let me know and make sure that you'll get it by email. We also we'll have a special firefighter story time with the Santa Clara County Fire Department. They're going to have a firefighter visit and a fire truck for kids to be able to visit, to take pictures on and just enjoy. And that's on September 26th. September 20th, we do have a mental health program, and it will provide information on the rights to mental health care, steps and resources to access care, and what to do if you encounter problems. We have some data for our summer reading. We had almost 4,000 signups, which is more than we had last year. So it's nice to see more people, signing up for summer reading. We increased some of our statistics, 12% increase in patrons served online, 3% increase in items checked out, and 5% increase in patrons served in person. On the topic of Hispanic Heritage Month, we did have an adult craft yesterday, which we actually got a compliment email. I got an email right away from one of the attendees that said, "Oh, please continue to have adult crafts," and they really love the program. We're going to have a children's program on September 21st, Cascada de Flores. That'll be for a children's program. Other programs, Monday morning meditation for adults, September 11th. Also on the 11th, we're going to have a Mid-Autumn Festival calligraphy program, tea knitting on September 26th. And it's in the report, but if you haven't been in the library, the hush pods are here, and they're not quite ready to be used due to the fire inspection from the fire department. So they're taking a little bit longer than we would hope. But if you'd like a tour, I can give you a tour of them. I have the key, and they're ready to go as soon as we get the inspection.
We thought fire people could maybe just pop over there.
I was gonna say, who's in charge of the fire?
Yeah, I know, you know someone.
So yeah, they're beautiful, and I thank the Friends for generously funding those. Also in the report, we had a bad art night, which I thought was really creative, and the winners are holding up their artwork. And from what I heard from the staff, patrons really love that.
So I have a question, and you're not showing it up, but did this woman win the year before? Like, did you have because I'm pretty sure she did.
A bad art night?
Yes.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
how good bad art night is.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know her name, but I think she won last
I'll
year.
have to ask the staff. I don't know. I didn't see the pictures from last year.
Popular. The people who attended, but
Those are the pods.
yeah.
Diane Brock.
Oh,
Yeah. She's a legit artist.
That's supposed to be bad.
Yeah, I know.
That's really good.
That's why she won.
I think I might have won.
To the Anthony picture next year.
And then, since you have it up, the next slide should be some photos of our furry friends, which is now also, we have a similar program at Woodland. The Cubelets, our STEAM program that we were very, very popular, and we brought them to the Family Fun Day here, that have been really popular. And the bottom is our librarian Allison with one of the school visits. So just wanted to show some fun stuff. And lastly, we did get a patron compliment. So a family came to the children's department and said that their friends really told them if they love Mountain View, they're really gonna love Los Altos. And they made a point to tell our staff that they did love Los Altos Library more than Mountain View. So compliments to everyone to make our library better. So that's all I have.
I didn't know libraries competed in.
Yeah,
I like. All right, so city staff update. This works. We just move it down.
I will say, I think there should be competition for bad art between Mountain View and Los Altos Library. That might be fun. City staff update, I only have one update, and then I'm gonna pass to Jamie for, recreation event updates. Woodland Library patio, that was something that I think was discussed at a previous commission meeting. That would need to be incorporated into the CIP budget, so that's something that could be looked at mid-year or in the next CIP budget to incorporate. And I think some of the lessons learned from the main library patio could give direction on how that process would play out for the Woodland Library. So understanding the method, the path of approvals, where that goes, would then be able to give a clearer path for city staff for the Woodland Library patio. So I'm happy to answer any questions about that, but at this point, I think that's all the information that staff has.
Right, the two things I'll highlight is, Family Fun Day. We did have one in, August, and, I can't believe we're in September. But, we always partner with the library, and the event is also, sponsored by the Friends of the Library as well. It was animal themed. We actually had an animal show come out, and we had the largest attendance that we've had at all of the events, which is probably close to 750 people that came out that day between 10 and 1 here at the community center. The next one is scheduled for the end of October, in time for Halloween. And again, it will always be the 10 to 1 time frame, and we always partner with the library, and they always have some fun activities in the Grand Oak Room. So that is coming up in October, and then just getting ready for our fall season, which registration has already begun, and classes are slated to start next week. So we have a lot of activities and events, so check out online if you're so inclined.
All right, thank you so much. We'll move on to subcommittee reports. Does awareness have anything?
Yeah. Well, we did a ad approval that Rose submitted to us. I think that's about all we did, right?
Yeah, the monthly ad that Awareness used to prepare is now being prepared by Rose, so it's been completely turned over, and she's just asked us to review it.
Right.
But it's, the new software, everything's working really, really well. So that's been a lot less trouble for the awareness.
Infrastructure's next.
Can I just ask a question? When does it get approved?
Today.
Today? Okay. Huh? Oh, and that's totally fine. I'm just saying, if we move forward without an awareness committee, you know, I'm not sure that we need to approve it, but if you wanted to approve it, could we do it at the same time as the commission meeting? Or could it just be a?
Well, there's two a month.
But the other one is not,
Yeah,
it's not associated with the library.
we could talk about it, yeah.
Okay, infrastructure.
Up to you. We have not worked on any, we have not met this month and worked on anything. We do have a topic we want to ask to put on a future agenda.
Mhm.
Okay. And do you want to wait until that time to do that? Okay. And then I'll give you back the microphone.
So we have futures and services. Maybe we could start with services first. So we did, so Rose does have some ideas that she would like us to look at from a services perspective. Traditionally, we work with Rose on these items. I think we are going to have a meeting. We are going to discuss them. And then with our future subcommittee formation, we'll talk about how we do those. I think one is electrification, or how we charging points, charging that, yeah, that sounds much better than electrification. Thank you.
Oh, I was thinking electric vehicles, so charging for devices.
Maybe that could be on there too at some point. No, and so things like that. So we'll be working, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll bring it back to the full commission and see who wants to work on these items as subcommittees. Okay, on services, anything to add, my fellow services subcommittee members?
I sent an email to Rose asking about the, our overdrive relationship in Kindle. That was it. And then we're gonna meet on the 15th. Yep.
Okay, and then the futures, so we did attend the meeting, we did get feedback. We had drafted a draft RFP, just to put our thoughts on paper. And what we have done, Anthony, is we shared that with you today. So the NCLA is looking at, the NCLA would like the city, to issue an RFP. I think that's fair to say, issue an RFP to, and that was in that email today, for services related to a feasibility study, an update of a feasibility study. It is really in the draft RFP. We drafted it, it's quite lengthy, but it does include the background and the history. In drafting it, we did look at RFPs from other cities, so from Campbell, Oakland, Sunnyvale. I think there was one other in there. We looked at them all. So it's really about issuing the RFP for services related to updating the feasibility study. We changed the language because I do think that there was concern expressed by the NCLA board or commissioners, they're both, with respect to what it is we want. We tried to make clear that we're looking for first, whether we can address some of the safety concerns or the concerns that were listed there within the existing footprint. Was that feasible? And then separately, was there anything else that could be recommended to address those concerns? I did update it to asking for 3 suggestions. So we'll see what that is. We can bring that back. I mean, 3, ultimately it's asking for 3 concepts, design concepts. So again, the RFP is just to hire the person who would then do this work, who would update the feasibility study. I think it's well explained. And so we did offer to meet with you. You're our starting point. We would then meet with, obviously Gabe as needed. And
What did you send? It was a thing.
Did the commission see any of this? I don't remember seeing any of this.
so the RFP, we actually walked through last time. Remember, we walked through the RFP last time. We were in the other building, in the other location. So we actually walked through the RFP. And so that was what was presented. We have gotten feedback from them. So
Was it part of the packet?
it was part of the packet. Yeah.
Okay, so I can look at August meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
We whenever it was on the screen,
right.
it was an earlier draft form than it sounds like it was now, but it was.
I made a minor change just to be clear that it was, and I'm sorry, I didn't think of attaching it today. Maybe we can attach it as a part of the minutes. the updated draft. So it was just, and it's really something that the NCLA had asked for, clarification with regard to, one, can we make these changes within the existing footprint? If not, and there's some language in there too, can we go, is there an option to go beyond the existing footprint? And so it's really for the subject matter expert that we hired to provide that feedback based upon the feasibility study of 2008, the update in 2018, and any other feedback. I would expect them, for example, to talk to the district. Because one of the things we talked about, for example, was that in the 2018, I think, feasibility study, they talked about more computers, that they wanted to see that, but time has progressed and we don't need more computers. So it's just making sure that we update that and are able to provide that information. And then, well, they updated, they're able to provide that information to NCLA. So that is the current status.
And who will provide it for the NCLA?
Yes, our goal is to provide it to the NCLA for October 2nd. Their meeting, October 2nd. Again, it's drafted. We can talk. It needs to be put in the format used by the city. You can omit, add whatever you want. And then the question is, can the city support the gathering of the proposals?
So is the city issuing, or is it?
On behalf of the NCLA.
Yeah, yes.
It will be able to include it in the agenda.
Yes. That's our goal. Yes, definitely. There are probably more questions, and well, I have to get it to you. Who did I send it to? Okay, I will do that. Any questions? Yes.
So just to summarize,
Mhm.
that I'm clear that I have this right, this is an RFP for a consultant to do a feasibility study.
I would say to update the feasibility study, because two have already been
Yeah.
done, and to work with the stakeholders to make sure that it's relevant for today.
Okay.
And then to provide design concepts and answer some specific questions as to whether it can be done, whether the issues that were raised can be addressed within the existing footprint, whether there is additional work. So if you recall, and you probably don't, just because I've been reading this thing constantly, the 2018 study did suggest that there could be changes to the building, demolishing the addition and adding on to that. I'm not saying it can be done or it can't be done, but that was one of the things that they had suggested. So it's looking at those options.
Okay. The other issue that I'm wondering, has anybody taken into account that we have a $10 million loan that the library is the collateral for? And I don't think we can do anything to that building until that loan's paid off. And it might, I keep hearing they may pay the loan off as soon as the 2-year prepayment penalty phase is over with Park and Lou funds. But I don't know if that's the plan for sure.
So I can say, I don't know what the plan is, but I do know that Pete Daly, who is a member of the NCLA, that's something that he had previously talked about. So I would expect the NCLA to have to be able to, and with the city to be able to make that decision. And probably that might be something that the subject matter expert weighs in on. I think, Pierre, did you?
Yeah, so this is two-phase. The first phase was figuring out what you can spend the NCLA money on. We got a legal opinion that, stipulated that said you can do a whole bunch and it's got to be within this, and the other, and we stipulated that. The next phase is to hire somebody to work with the county, with the city, to figure out what can be done within those limitations. And that's where we're at. So hopefully the idea is that Anthony, the city would be issuing the RFP on behalf of the NCLA. We almost went so far as to call you and ask you for the format, but we figured you had to do that. So the format we sent you hopefully fits quite well.
Yeah, I do have the format. I don't have the document, so I'm I'm just wondering the order of operations on this. So
Mhm.
I'll check on that to see what makes the most sense to go to NCLA, to go to the city.
I'll call you tomorrow to talk about it, make sure that you have it. Yeah, thank you for that clarification. Yes, it is a city building. And so I think for that reason, they felt it was appropriate that the city issue the RFP and have control. If you look at the document, we do sort of lay out, much like they did in other jurisdictions, what I refer to as TAC, and I forget what the acronym is for, but it's basically a group of interested parties who would review the proposals and provide a recommendation, but ultimately the decision is for the NCLA to decide. So again,
Advisory committee.
there you go. There you go. So it's interested parties who would be able to support it. So it's not, the NCLA does have staff, they do pay for staff. But I think the Futures Committee has been doing, a lot of the work, to address, some of the requests by the NCLA. We don't have the expertise at all, I don't feel, to do the work that we are asking a subject matter expert to do. And so the question is, can you provide that more administrative support, but then also, of course, be a part of the review? Okay. Yes, sir.
The $10 million, just to add to Commissioner Wheeler, was essentially a mortgage taken against the library to finish the community center. That's basically essentially what it was. And hopefully there's no odd stuff in there that keeps us from doing anything, but
Yeah.
it's there.
I'll check with the finance department to confirm what the arrangements were on that particular one.
Yeah, I know Gabe talked about paying that loan off with park and lieu fees once the 2-year, I think it's a 2-year prepayment penalty provision in the loan agreement. But that was some time ago when he was talking about that, and things change, plans change. I know nothing.
Mhm. Any other questions or comments? Some more to come about that. And we'll attach sort of our update to this. And again, that's our update. It hasn't been reviewed by the NCLA, who would be the ultimate decision maker. Any questions? I have one more,
Actually, I do have a question.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No?
So are the renovation or the feasibility studies, how much of them are the interior of the building?
So that would be for them to decide. That would be, so the subject matter expert would update the feasibility study, and they would be able to provide feedback, as I understand it, to the NCLA, if those things can be done within the existing footprint of the building. And provide, a concept with regard to that. We've asked additionally, if not, what else would need to be done?
Structurally or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can it be done within the existing envelope of the building? If not, or if, yes or no, what else could be done consistent with some of the comments in the feasibility study? So basically providing options.
Okay. And, okay.
Any other questions? No, I appreciate the questions. I'm just, I think it's beyond our knowledge base, my knowledge base. Okay, there is one more thing, on behalf of the Futures Committee. We have had a wonderful, person who has been a part of our Futures Committee, who has been a part of our commission, and we don't have it here, but I just wanted to acknowledge the incredible work done by Melvin G. as a commissioner. And in honor of that, we are gonna miss you. So it's just a very small, yeah, it's a very little token of our appreciation, just to remember inside. Did you want to say anything?
Well, thank you. It was wonderful being part of this commission. And I'll probably be calling in every now and then because I'll suffer withdrawal.
Carol just said you were great on infrastructure too, and I do think as a commission going forward, if we need to tap into some of that expertise, we may beg Wally to have you be part of one of our efforts going forward, so.
Yeah, I would love to say something.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would just like to say how wonderful you have been to work with. You are so collegial. You are always thoughtful. You're always, you work so hard on projects and you do such an incredibly good job. And you are a real pleasure to work with. And it's been a real joy. Thank you.
Moving on. All right, request for future agenda.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh.
So your projects will live on as public comment. I just want you to know that, so it's up online.
I'll hit you up for coffee and we can talk some more.
We can talk more, yes. So thank you very much for the stuff you've done for this commission. I mean, it's been excellent. So, and you know, I'm sure I'll see you down the block. Literally, since you live down the block.
All right, item number 12, request for future agenda items. I have the Night at the Library event, which I'm still hoping we can talk about at some point. Freddie, did you have one? Yeah.
Yes, we would like to put on the agenda the road accessing the library from San Antonio. Discussing feasibility for example, making it one way. So it would go from San Antonio one way into the civic campus is just a, idea. But what we'd like to do is put it on the agenda and talk about how the traffic pattern could be improved. And potentially maybe the parking right in front of the building might be changed at maybe even some additional parking places if the road is one way. So.
Okay, so we did have it on the agenda once, and I did talk to the city staff about that, and they said it couldn't be done at that time. This was a while ago because it was raised by, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna forget the name, the commissioner from Los Altos. Yeah, Shavari.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Shavari, yeah, so she did raise that issue, and so I did talk and we did report out, but, so you tell me if, I mean.
I'll have to confirm what the protocol would be, but I can't imagine that it couldn't be some type of a discussion at least to have. I'm not sure about the feasibility, I guess, is the ultimate question. It would have to be looked at after that
There would
discussion.
have to be a traffic study.
Correct.
And the city would have to agree to do the traffic study. And so I think what we're proposing is to present ideas and then as a commission decide whether the commission, as a whole approves those ideas as suggestions. And then those suggestions would go to the city. And for example, the parking, the 2-hour parking, that came out of the infrastructure, came out of Nelvin's research. And then that was presented to the city and it sat for a very long time until Gabe actually picked it up and said, let's implement that. So it would be similar to that. It would be, we would talk about it, we would research it. And then if the commission came up with a proposal and approved it, we would submit it to the city for consideration. Okay, but I know it would require a traffic study.
But really what it requires is another commissioner supporting putting this on the agenda, which I do. and regardless of any of this discussion. So I second your proposal
Thank you.
to put it on there.
And you third it.
Yeah, I would support that too. So, okay, anything else? Yes, yeah, oh. Yeah.
Thank you. So, we have the opportunity that came up recently for all the libraries to partner with the, Santa Clara County Library District Foundation to, look at the possibility of having more permanent story walks in our communities. And so, I don't know if you remember in February, March, we did have, one that went from the library to the community center, and, it was well received. And so I have some more information to share, in a little presentation, and hopefully get the commission support to help us get this going for the city. So I'm very excited about this opportunity.
Okay, so for a future agenda item.
Yes.
Anything else?
There was one topic that that was discussed, that Commissioner G brought up, agenda topic to brainstorm big topics for subcommittees as a future agenda item. I'm not sure if you guys would like to, if there's two commissioners that would like to.
Yeah.
Yes, I would support it too. All right, so it looks like we have the night at the library, the road accessibility, more permanent story walks, and brainstorming big topics for subcommittees. Anything else? All right, any last minute comments from the public, anybody else? All right, hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.